Another day for Pi Week celebrations. Today we're going to go over PiDoc, which is our free package for Revit users. It has it's a very nice flavor profile for all the different things that people do with Revit. We have added plugins for each category, which can kind of give you a taste of PiVDC and how it can be helpful for the different work types that people work on use Revit for. We're going to give you in today's webinar, we're going to give you an example from each particular stage, talk about a couple plugins. We obviously don't have time to go over all the plugins, but hopefully we can highlight some of our favorite ones. My name is Naman Patwari. I'm the head of automation at Pinnacle Research and Development Department. Along with me is Mr. Richard. So Richard is our Pi champion. Um, First of all, Richard's background is from BIM production, but very recently he came on to the R&D team as the Pi champion, and is responsible for generating awareness of our plugins within Pinnacle itself, which is training our 2,500 engineers on using these plugins, making sure they are in sync with the new updates and everything that comes out. Um, Along with me is also Ajay. Ajay is a production engineer who works on Revit day in and day out. Um, he is our ideal customer, people who we create plugins for, people whose feedback we really value. And I'm very happy Ajay could join the call with us today. And then along with me is also Akash. He's a product manager at the R&D team, and he's going to go over some various dashboards that you can use to further understand yours and your team's usage of PiVDC to find insights that can be very useful. So with that, I'm going to pass it off to Richik. Richik, please go ahead.
Thank you, Naman. Thank you. Okay, greetings everyone. Welcome to this web talk. First of all, let me thank you for watching this today. So it's an honor to showcase all the tools in front of you. So that's it. So we will start one by one. So in this webinar, we will discuss about PyDoc. It will modify the tool. It will actually help us in the modeling purpose, in the quality check purpose. So we will see this one by one. Okay. So these are some benefits of PyDoc. It will ensure all the 100% quality. Now, with that, the time taken during that using the tool, it will be very much less. Now you can understand that if the quality will be high and the time taken will be less, then automatically the efficiency, the productivity will be very much higher. So that's how we will collaborate the time with the money. So we will see it and we will understand it one by one in the later stages. So these are the 5 features what we will discuss in the background of the add-ins. First of all, this is family incorporating. We will see. Second, this is the element identification, means effortlessly we will identify any element, we will modify any element, and it will help us in the projects. Third one, which is the element data intersecting. That means we can intersect the data from one category and then we will approach it into another category. So we will see it. Fourth one, which is the item selection and review. Now, if the 4 things will be conjugated in one place, then obviously we can understand that that will be user friendly, and obviously that will give us the time saving experience. So that is our PyDoc agenda. So first of all, throughout the whole session, we will discuss about the introduction of that whole PiVDC tool package PyDoc. Second, PiVDC PyDoc package summary. And third one, the package wise tool review. So we will do it one by one. Now, PyDoc category, we can see it is divided into 4 different categories. First of all, which is MEP category. Second, which is ACS category. Third, this is quality. And fourth one, last but not the least, actually, the utility and quick tool category. So first of all, our cupboard, this is the Pi family browser. Now, actually, how that Pi family browser will be helpful. Now we will see it in the Revit platform. As you can see, it will look like this. It is a PiDoc ribbon in the Revit. Now, whenever we click it, here we can see all the families will be there. Now, what is the usage and what is the utility of that? First of all, this Pi family browser, these families are actually taken or extracted from the location which is user defined. That means if user can dump any location, means refit family location or dump folder, from that we can extract one by one. This is the first help. Second thing, according to some parameters, like you can see from the family parameter, category parameter, symbol, manufacturer, customer ID, icon, by this type of parameter, the families we can segregate. So that is also user defined. Like that, if I can segregate this like manufacturer wise, I want to segregate. Then what we can do? We can do it. We can take it here and here. From that, if we can segregate it one by one, then that at core manufacturer with category family will be there. Same like this, Bridgeport. So these families are of manufacturer Bridgeport. So like that, the manufacturer, like that, the family symbol, means any type of separation, any type of, you can say, filter, we can do it. So that is very much of user friendly. But not only this, not not only this, only also the current, in the current tab we can use the Revit inbuilt default family. So for that we don't have to use the properties browser. From that we can use from here, we can drag and drop it definitely. And also there is one hidden had hidden actually help it is, which is the drafting view. That means if some in some location, if you have the 2D drafting views, then obviously we can help it and we can take the 2D drafting view definitely, and we can insert it from here to here. Now if you think that we can insert, or some user have the utility to insert that family, then what we have to do? Only we have to double click it and then we can insert it. Now if you say that this is the all the help, no, that is not the thing. We can also do some another extra help. Now when we go to the edit type, so yeah, this is the edit type. So if you can select here, this is the thing. You can, okay, just 1 minute.
um,
Yes.
it's really, this really helps to keep consistency of what families are using across a project, right? And the
Hmm.
best part is you can have a local database of these families, and which can be shared between team members by it being on a shared server, and you can guarantee that everyone has access to the right families for that particular project.
Definitely, definitely. Because actually it is not that like only the families are here we have to use it. No, on also you can see the catalog IDs are there. That means whenever you are using it, you can check the catalog from the URL also, and you can check the that submittal also. So that thing also is provided in the catalog ID. So
Right.
that is the all from that family browser. So definitely whenever I also definitely will recommend, whenever you have a chance, then use that family browser. That is very much helpful and that is very much user defined actually. So
Makes
yeah.
sense. So Ajay, you were talking a little bit about how Family Browser has been useful for you in different projects and how it has helped you stay in check, in sync with the deliverables of the project.
Yeah, thank you. And hello, everyone. So, how Family Browser has helped me. So, when we have to deal with different types of projects, we are obviously going to have different kind of database. Sometimes it is being provided by client, and sometimes we are taking the Revit default family. So, most of the time, in my experience, I have used to work on the design build project where client is already giving them various kind of family for different things. So right, so in that family it is very tough to get any kind of thumbnail though, so we can identify it very quickly. There are family like suppose access panel. So access panel has only the size differences, but it is not mentioned over there, right? So in
Mm-hmm.
that case it is really challenging for a modeler to identify which access panel is of 450 into 450 mm, or which access panel is of 600 or 600 mm. When I use the family browser, it is giving me the complete data,
Mm.
like Richik explained, right? So
Yeah,
there I'm getting all the catalogs data or whatever the information, dimension, everything is mentioned. So this is one example I'm just giving it, right? And it is also giving the pictorial view of that particular
yes,
element or that particular family. So that is very helpful, and it is very quick for me and for any modeler that we can use it and without thinking that this is going to be correct or not, right?
Right.
So this
yes.
saves our time and we can assure our quality that yeah, whatever we are giving, it is right actually. So this is one of my experience that I can share with you, I could share.
100%.
Definitely.
And I'm pretty sure most people who are listening in today and work in Revit know how easy it is to just download a random family of the internet, stick it in a project, and then have your project
Definitely.
manager chew you out later on, right? Like, hey, where is this family coming from? It's missing parameters and stuff. So the goal of Family Browser
Yes,
is to make it like, hey, if there's a project database, we want to make it very simple for people to just place those families rather than even having the urge to go onto Google and downloading some random family
definitely.
from a random website, right? Um,
Yeah, not only this, whenever some family you can choose from the yeah, that family browser, you can see that in the edit type properties here, if you can click it, you can see this already that submittal will be open. That means not only you can download it, but also you can check it that okay, my catalog ID is this is my submittal. So the user can also cross check it and verify it. So that is also one very much a utility for the of that family browser. Okay, so
100%.
yeah, okay, so we will go to the next thing.
Yep. Before we
Yeah,
just
okay,
finish
okay,
up
yeah, please,
on
please,
Family
please, yeah.
Browser. So right now, Family Browser is only available if you have a private. So first of all, Family Browser is for available for free for any Revit
Mm,
user. Please do reach out to us. Family Browser is probably my favorite plugin that we have in PiVDC because just the impact that it has for quality. And right now, Family Browser, you kind of have to use your own database, but we're currently in the process of launching a Pinnacle global database that should have a lot of RFA and ITM content directly from manufacturers. And again, we'll be giving access to it to our access to it for free to our family browser users. So please do reach out to us. Get start using this plugin for free because there's a lot of different features in family browser, like as Richard said, opening a like just listing all the families from a closed Revit file as well, and all of the different stuff. So if you have template
yes,
files and everything, you can just load up a template file into family browser itself rather than needing to have multiple Revit sessions open.
yeah,
So
definitely.
yep, and then drafting views as well, right? Like
Drafting view,
um,
yeah, the 2D drafting view. So whenever some projects will need the drafting view to be opened and taking some help from there, so if we just have to give the location, that's it.
right.
Only that's it.
It's a great way to centralize an organization's experience and work process, right? Like we have multiple
Definitely.
clients that have they have a database of drafting views and they want their employees and their Pinnacle team to kind
Our
of use
employees.
the same
Yep.
drafting views, right? And that just Primary Browser just makes sure that everyone is on the same page, right? Like no one is using random data, and if something changes, it's driven by the client, and then we
And
follow the client
definitely.
instructions.
Yep.
Perfect. Please, Richie, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So our next thing is the point cloud. Now, whenever some user will work on that point cloud model for visualization purpose, for making their own model correct, so that will definitely help. It will only enable the visibility settings and visibility control. Second thing, it will control all the loaded color. So we will see it in Revit. Okay. So as you can see, this is our point cloud model. Now, whenever this is, we will click here. So there are some several options we will see. First of all, this is the point cloud show and hide. That is, if you see, you can see the only the model. If you want to see the only your done model, so you can see it. Second thing, the elevation color, that means it will visualize the all the settings, all the that point cloud model according to the elevation color. That means when the elevation will be changed, the color will be changed. So this will look like this one, this will look like this. Third one, this is the intensity color. So whenever the density, actually it depends upon the density. So whenever the density will be high, so see here all the dark colored, so that means the density of that point cloud model is very much there. Or the grayish colored portion, here the density is very much low. So that is the case. This last one, this is the fixed color. Now fixed color, it is the normal fixed color. Now actually it will help, actually this type of color is will help the user when to see the your own model, when to see the actual model very heavily. Means in that color it will actually help the user to visualize their model very quickly and very from a very far distance. So that is the fixed color. So only this will help the user to visualize properly. So that is the that is our point cloud model. So
Right. And sorry, go ahead.
yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah. Say. No problem on that.
Right, and point cloud, this is a workflow that is getting really, really popular in the VDC industry as more and more as built existing facility requirement for BIM models are coming up for as built facilities.
Yeah,
Pinnacle, as a company, we get a lot of scan to BIM projects, and which drove the development of these plugins. And this is again something that I've brought up multiple times in this webinar, but the whole PiVDC is driven by actual project requirements from around the world. Like we as Pinnacle feel very, very lucky to work on so many BIM projects of various kinds across the world. And
mm,
we distill all of our knowledge, all of our requirements, all of the issues we face on these projects to create plugins. And then we can, our users sit 2 feet away from us so we can get really fast feedback and really understand their pain
yep,
points. And this plugin is another, a very good example of why it was created and the origins of it. Um,
yeah,
uh,
definitely. Only thing you have to do, you have to just load that point cloud model. That's it. Or other visualization purpose that can be handled by these add-ins, definitely with no time
uh,
actually.
Ajay, out of curiosity, I'm not sure if you work in if you work in point clouds. Have you had a chance to use this plugin? Has it saved you any time?
Yes, definitely. You're very right that I didn't get enough chance or project to work on big Point Cloud project because it was means I have already loaded. I have different works, but yeah, I had one small chance to work on Point Cloud, and the kind of color code given for different services. It was completely matching with the color that we had in the Point Cloud model. So it was really challenging for us. Every time we were just loading, unloading, or turning off on the screen to identify whether my service is going or not, right? So when I use this facility, this point cloud tool, so I could give it the different colors so that easily I can see my services, right, without matching the color. And so it was totally means initially it was totally creating a camouflage of the services with the point cloud model. It was very challenging
Mm,
for us, but when I used it, I could give the colors, and it was really working nice for me.
yeah, actually someone, when someone works on point cloud model, what is the main challenge for him or her? Actually they cannot visualize their own model. They
Mhm.
actually can't visualize their own model if the point cloud model is actually overlaying over their model. But whenever you are changing the color, which is actually here in the add-ins, elevation color, intensity color, normal color, so that color actually help them to visualize their own model as well as the point cloud model, so which will actually help in their project. So
Right.
I mean that is the beauty of that point cloud. Yeah.
Yeah, because for scan to BIM projects, the point cloud, you use the point cloud as reference on how to create
Yes.
the model, right? So you don't want the point cloud to
Yeah.
hide your current work, right?
Yeah,
It's
actually.
it's not a good experience for anyone involved.
Yep, definitely.
Perfect. And then, yes, speaking of this, like, do try if you're working in the scan to BIM industry, please do give PyDoc a chance, give Point Cloud a chance, and if you have any hardcore scan to BIM requirements, Pinnacle is always there to help out and take those Cantor BIM projects for you to give you very accurate LOD models. So,
Definitely.
Rishi, please go ahead.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So our next add-in is fabrication hanger. So what it will do actually, it will place the hanger on the Revit fabrication element. Now, there are some certain utility and certain usefulness. So we will directly see on the Revit platform. Okay. Hmm. So like this is our fabrication element. Now, whenever we are seeing this Revit fabrication hanger, now here only we have to choose the our service group button and fitting to hanger distance. This is the user defined, which we can take by the specification checklist. And last thing, which is the hanger to hanger distance, we can check by the specification checklist also. So if we click it all and finish it, then wait for some little time, then you can see all the hanger will be placed. But the thing is, there is also one additional help. First of all, fitting to hanger distance. This fitting to hanger distance, we don't have to check further, which will actually reduce the checking time. Second thing, whenever that hanger will be aligned to the slab, so that thing we don't have to check manually. Or else if we don't use that add-in, then what we have to do, then we have a problem. What is the problem? We have to align each and every hanger to the slab, which is a hectic process, which is manual process also, and also it is problematic and error also. Means there we even found the error. But here, in the two things, we take the relief. First of all, the fitting to hanger distance, what actually we have discussed, we don't have to check. Second thing, we don't have to align these hangers to the slab. So by these two things, a huge amount of time will be saved. So actually, from the production, we can take the data. Now you can see that sheet wise, if we take the without add-ins part, it will take to complete the one sheet of 8 hours. But whenever we are using that add-ins, it will take only 2 hours, and also and we don't have to do the quality check. So that is the extra benefit. Now think, if we incorporate this thing to a project, means the whole project, then you can see where to complete the total hanger drawing, that will be only 160 hour will be there if we don't use the add-ins. But whenever we use it, only below 50 hours it will be completed. So that is a huge benefit. So that's why I recommend, whenever some fabrication element will be there and you have to check the hanger and you have to put the hanger, obviously use fabrication hanger from PyTalk.
Makes
Okay.
sense, right? Um, Sorry for interrupting.
No, no, yeah, definitely you can say, yeah.
Absolutely makes sense, right? Like, because hanger placement especially is one of those tedious, long-taking tasks, which is very,
Yes.
very error prone, as you mentioned, right? Because we have a sample model here, but in a real life situation, the pipe runs are much longer,
Yeah,
and
definitely. That we don't have to think like, only thing, I have selected this. And after that, if we have the whole model, then you have to select this much of portion. That's it. Means
right.
only the time taken is that you have to select those portion of model. That's it. Nothing will be there. Okay, no time taken will be there.
Makes sense. And then at the end of
Yep.
the day, we can pass on these savings to our clients, right? Like
Definitely.
we at
Definitely.
internally at Pinnacle use it so that we can keep our costs low and we can increase the BIM adoption throughout the
Yep.
world. Ajay, Ajay, do you have any anecdotes you'd like to share about this plugin?
Yeah, while Richik was explaining about this benefit of fabrication hanger, I was just recalling my old days. When this add-ins was not available. So I have both the experience when the add-ins was not available and when the add-ins was available. So when it was not available, we were means given a similar kind of instruction in a particular project that we have to maintain like 100 from the fittings,
Mm-hmm.
maybe for
Hmm.
pipe, maybe for duct. So every time I was just taking a
The
line
separation.
there and then clicking it. Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have to
So
create a
so
line and then
somebody
after that copy it.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
this was the one tool. Second one, who is a little more experienced and very faster with on the Revit, so they were taking dimensions to control, but some of the time dimensions were not working. Some
Right.
people were just making the line as a group, and so that everywhere they can copy with all. It was
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, we were
I
creating
know what
some
you're
other
talking
drawing,
about.
okay,
Yeah.
some other LOD, but when this tool introduced, I was so lucky to have this tool. And again, see, when we are talking about the hangers, it seems like yeah, hangers is very simple thing. No, all the services are going to be hang with the help of the slab,
Slap.
right? And it is not that easy. There are many of the clients which are who are coming in a more detailed with the stress analysis report, that these are the stress analysis report, and at this particular distance you have to maintain this, right? So in that case it become very challenging.
Right.
So
And then
this
in the
tool is
case,
giving, yes, this tool is giving us that liberty to put and decide the
Hmm.
dimensions, that this may is the dimension or gap I want to maintain from the fittings, and these
Fitting
are the
to
spanning
hanger.
of
Yeah.
the hangers, in between hangers. So it is very very helpful, and it really saved us from that tedious work, and we could utilize those saved hour in some other activity and help our client in a better manner. So that is the benefit that I can remember and correlate the stories from
Yes.
availability and
makes
non-availability
sense,
of this.
absolutely.
Yes.
And then especially in the world where, in the world of prefabrication becoming more and more important, accurate hanger placements in models is of vital importance as well, right? So,
Yep.
and then
Definitely.
this plugin, I'm assuming, helps a lot to ensure your spool drawings are accurate and constructible in a machine.
Yep. Definitely. Definitely. Yep. Okay. So we will go to the our next one, which is beam direction. Now, from the name, you can understand it will direct the beam. It will give us the direction of the beam. Now, in which situation we will use it? Think like this. This is one sheet, and here we have to give the direction. We have to check the direction. Now, for the quality check purpose, if we click one by one, then that will be a very hectic job, and also this is not error free. But whenever you click on beam direction from the ACS category, and you just have to choose your own color, that's it. That means like this, you have to choose the color, and this is the longitudinal tolerance, that is the deflection of the beam. And if you proceed it, then wait for some time, your whole file will be quality checked within some seconds. Within some seconds, can you believe it? So that's the beauty, means that from the color you can see that this is a green color. So can you, if you remember that color, okay, so from it is taken from this side to this side, it was drawn from this side to this side, so the all beam model will be quality checked within no time. Means means only the time taken will be there. Whenever you click that beam direction, the time taken is, and you have to select that color coordination, that's it. The whole file will be quality checked.
So
So yeah, that
as
is
this
the beauty of that beam direction. Yeah, Naman, please.
as they say, good technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Yes,
So
actually,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely, correctly said. Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, now
Ajay,
if we go to, yeah, yeah,
uh,
please, Naman, say. Yeah.
Ajay, do you have anything? Again, I think you work mostly on MEP projects, so I'm unsure if you have used
Hmm.
Yes.
beam directions before.
Yes. I work mostly on the MEP project, so I have very less experience on this and almost no experience. But I have seen people using these things because in structural department or ACS department, people are very means it is very common thing, right? The beam and column and everything. So people are very
Yes.
much means inclined towards the knowing the angles or knowing the direction, because see, it is going to take the whole loads of the building,
Right?
right?
Right.
Nowadays
Yes,
people are not
actually.
constructing the older buildings like all the bricks are taking the loads. Nowadays columns and beam and these things are taking the loads of the building. And high rise building, you can just imagine if there is a 1 degree deviation from the actual, then
The
what will be
building's
It will
happening?
falling
be,
down, right? That's what
Right.
scares me about
Yeah.
structural work, like, with
Yeah.
yes,
MEP, okay, my water stops running or my electricity is not coming. For structural, it's like the building is down, it's just
yes,
no
actually.
place to repair it. So,
Definitely.
yeah. But
So
on that point, I would just like to point out that this is why we created PyDoc, because we wanted to have some plugins that is applicable to all the different kinds of Revit users, whether you're working in the ACS field, MEP field,
MEP field, yeah,
right? Like
definitely.
from all aspects of the a typical Revit user.
Yes,
yes, and
Perfect.
definitely.
one thing I would like to
Please.
add here, that see, it is not about the MEP or ACS, right? If there is, suppose somebody has just modeled in a wrong way with the raw incorrect angle, and if I have knowledge about the beam, uh,
Hmm.
right, beam direction, then I can use this facility, no? And we
Right.
can easily come to know that this particular angle is not that much correct for the beam, and that's why my pipe is hitting, and or it is running too tight with that beam, right? Because some of the
Right.
time
Correct.
when there is a cutout requirement, there are many clients, there are many standard around the globe, so they are clearly mentioning that you have to maintain this much of the height or this much of the length or gap between the structural element or the cutouts. So in that case it is very much helpful for the MEP guys as well to ensure whether
One
the
hundred
beam is
percent.
correct or not.
100%. I
Definitely.
understand. I understand where you're coming from. Yep.
Yeah. So as we can see that beam direction, this is the quality check purpose that if we don't have to use that, means without add-ins, so that much amount of hour is spent. But as you can see here actually, so with add-ins, the hour less will be just not 1 hour. This is only less than 2 hour. So that is actually a huge impact, right? But and also if we will incorporate it in the project, in the whole project, then obviously you can say wherever for the QC purpose, that quality check purpose, we have to spend more than 25 hours or 30 hours. So it will be done, means the quality check purpose will be done errorlessly within 5 hours, or not hours if I am saying correctly. If it is less than 5 hours. So yeah, that is the beauty of that beam direction, right? Okay,
100%
so
right. And then
we
we
will,
can, right, and we can
yeah,
pass
yeah,
on these savings to our clients, right? If you're
yes, yes,
using
yes,
these
definitely,
plugins
definitely,
for your
definitely.
work. Yep. Go
Okay.
ahead, sorry.
Okay, yeah. So we will go to our next thing, which is the intersected properties. Now, intersected properties means, from the name you can understand, the intersected properties means properties will be intersected. Now, here you can see in that image that category. This is actually the UI, that user interface. Now, here from one category, the parameters will be taken, that parameters will be mapped, and that parameters will be incorporated into another category. I mean, that is the simple usage. So we will see it in Revit. Now, here is the scenario. Like, this is the room, and here in this room, some parameters like room name, room number, we have to intersect. We have to incorporate into their own elements, like in the furnitures. So what we will do? We just go to PyDoc in the utility panel, intersected properties. Now here in this UI, we just categories from, means the parameters we have to take. So from room, we can take the parameters like parameter room name, room number. Yes, this one. We just map it, very simple. And then we have to incorporate it, intersect it in the furniture. So here you can see the furnitures. Yeah, this one. Import it, task complete successfully, means within a little time. So here you can see the or in the properties palette in the other box, all the name, all the parameters along with their name and unit will be there. Now it will be very much helpful for kobe data purpose, for
Yes.
intersecting the kobe data. For
Yeah.
the as built projects it will help. So it will definitely help in those aspects, definitely. And it is actually error free, because you don't have to check that whether the all the parameters will be intersected in the all categories or not. If I'm selecting the categories, this is selected, this furniture will be selected in the category. You don't have to see it, you don't have to understand it. You just have to select this category, you have to check the ui, that's it actually. Okay. So
Makes
yeah.
sense, right? And
Yep.
as you said, like again, for quality checking perspective, this is really really important, and
Yep.
especially when it comes to handover. And then we at Pinnacle are always trying to make sure we give the most complete handover documents as possible and
Yes.
load up the Revit family with as many parameter values as you meant as possible, especially Kobe data, right? Because
Yep.
that is what is
Especially.
essentially used for
Especially.
digital twins and FM at the end of the day. And I think
Hmm.
intersected properties is one of the few plugins that we actually have on the Autodesk App Store as of now that you can download for free.
Yes,
But
yes, yes, yes.
yeah, and then eventually we'll be adding all of PyDocs and most of the Py packages on Autodesk App Store as well.
Hmm.
But you could use intersected properties today through the App Store, or just reach out to us and get free access to PyDoc for you and your
Yep.
entire team.
Definitely, Lisa. Definitely.
Perfect.
So
Ajay, anything to add? Um, Anything to add about intersected properties? Have you used it in projects before?
Yes, like this is the one of the best tool that I have used, and I really
Can we
like
go?
this tool. Yeah, so this intersected properties tool, this is one of the best tool that I like so much. Okay, because it reduces my job, reduces my means tedious job, I must say,
Yes.
right, and save some good time. Because see, when we are dealing with the mechanical services, most of them are running above the ceiling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some of
hmm,
the time the room boundaries are not touching. If like I'm taking the same example that Rizik mentioned, that room
hmm,
name and numbers, right? But what about the electricals? People are more and more concerned that give me the schedule and give me the say element, and along with that tag the name and number and room
Mm-hmm.
in which that particular element is there, right? So it is very much helpful to collect all those data within a second and provide all the related room numbers to related elements, right? And in the electrical, we all know that there are various numbers of means element that we are using while we are doing the BIM modeling. Sometimes it is switches, sometimes it is a fire alarm, sometimes it is a pull cord or something like that. So there are hell numbers of elements, and all those things. It is. I'm not saying that every client is asking, but there are clients they require all this data, right? So at that point
100%.
of time, we cannot go and list down thousands of element and start putting one by one. It will take my whole day and night, right? So
Yeah.
it is better to use this tool and save our time and focus and use those save time in something more and more productive things to help our client in a
yeah.
better manner.
Yeah,
100%.
I just
Good.
want to add one thing is there. This parameters is in the properties palette, so we can use it in the BOM, in the bill of material, in the schedule also. Because whenever it is in the properties palette and you can edit it, so it is very much easy to use that parameter in the schedule. So that is also one help actually.
100%, right? And I really like what Ajay said as well, that gets rid of the tedious job, right? Like we want to work on complex and creative work, not like copying parameters from
Hmm.
one part to the other, right?
Other.
Like
Definitely,
even if
we are
the
learner.
most even the most diligent person can just make mistakes there, right? Like if you
Hmm.
have to do that 1,000 times over and over again. Yeah, once again, this plugin as well came from production. Someone told the R&D team,
Hmm.
hey, this would be a great idea to work on, and then the R&D team worked on it, and we had this plugin out,
Yep.
which is again why we invite everyone to use PyDoc, to use PyVDC, so that you can share your ideas with us, and we can create plugins that can help the entire VDC community at the end of the day. Like Pinnacle, even though yes, we have the PiVDC package and we want to have people use PiVDC. At the end of the day, we want construction projects to work to go on seamlessly at in within budget and on time, right?
Yep.
That is the goal of Pinnacle. That is the goal of PiVDC. We'll
Definitely.
do whatever we can to make sure construction projects are done properly. So I think that was it with PyTalk. At this point,
Yep.
I'd like to invite Akash to kind of talk about our QuickSight dashboard and how you can track your PyVDC usage for you and your team. But just to wrap up once again, PyDoc is freely available at pyvdc.com. Please reach out to us. If you're already a client of Pinnacle, reach out to your relationship manager and they can set you up with PyVDC licenses immediately. And we have very long and generous trial cycles. And um, yeah, please reach out. Over to you, Akash.
Okay, thank you, Raman. And it was great listening to Richik and Ajay and talking about the PyDoc tool and how it is going to help us. So, in the beginning part, like as Richik has mentioned, that the reason we are using the plugins is to increase the productivity of our teams and also to track and reduce the time taken by them in the projects. So, we have been developing our analytics so that we can show to our users that how they can track their team's usage. So I'll just quickly share my screen to show you
Mm.
the one which we are developing right now. That is Pi Analytics. So let me know once my screen is visible to you. Is it
Yeah.
visible?
Yes.
Yeah. So as Richik mentioned that we have to tag. So like the web page, like the once you enter into the website and you have the access, you can easily find the Pi Analytics section in the menu. And once you click on it, then you will see a dashboard. So right now we have been using a sample data to build our dashboard and talking about the productivity as well as the time saved. It is very important for a client to see how their plugins are used and which type of users are using their plugins and likewise. So we have been developing Pi Analytics. So I'll just go through the terminologies before going through the dashboard which we have. So here we have used the hit count. That is like whenever any user has used a plugin and when they have clicked on it, that is considered as a hit. And this is the hit count which we have from the sample data of 1 month. So as you can see from the dashboard, like if you want to see how your plugins are being used by different type of users, you can see the usage frequency uh, for a given time period. And also you have the user based usage where you can see the different usage by user A, user B, user C, and user D. So this is the hit count which you can see easily.
Akash,
Apart,
Akash,
yeah.
if you don't mind me just interjecting here just a little bit. The goal of Pi Analytics is for you to understand your team's usage of Pi VDC. So when you load onto Pi Analytics, you'd see all your team members in the user list, and you could track their usage accordingly. And this can give you a really nice idea about how frequently are those plugins being used in your team, and you can track very specific goals and APIs that Akash is talking about. Akash, please continue.
Okay, thank you for the clarification, Naman. So, this is the usage and user-based usage which you can track based on different users. Apart from that, we are also providing you a package-wise usage where you can identify which package are used by most of the users. And again, we are segregating that data to plugin-wise usage where you can see which
Mhm.
type of plugins are used by which users and how many times they are being used. So this is the Pi Analytics which we are offering to our users. And apart from that, we are also working on some of our analysis. Like one of the important analysis which we have is the time saved by plugins. So as Richik mentioned in the beginning that we have to track the time saved by the plugins.
Mm.
For example, like Revit Fabrication Hanger, it was a very good tool which was saving a lot of time. So we will help you to find out how much time it is saved by how much time your the plugin has saved for you. And also you can have an analysis where you can see your daily active users where which can help you to keep a track of the plugin usage. And to help you in your insights, we have given you a set of filters which you can use, like the package name, and you can select one of the package and you can see the data based on that only. And this is how the dashboard will look like for you. And we have also provided you a filter which you can use to segregate your data based on different plugins. So let's say if you want to see the usage of autocrop view, you can just select autocrop view and you can see the hit count it has generated throughout the time. And you can also see users who have used this particular tool. And apart from that, you have like package wise usage and plugin wise usage. So yeah, apart from that, you can also segregate the data based on the username. Let's say I want to see the usage of only user B. So if I'll click on it, then I can only see the usage of user B. So I can see that it has generated 303 hit counts, and this is how they have used the tool. And it will also give us an idea that which package they have used and also which plugins they have used. So
Mm.
this was the filter which we are going to use for better insights.
Yeah,
Perfect.
also we can take the time frame, right? There is some particular time frame we can use. Like in between this time frame, the user will you a user actually has used this add-ins actually. Yeah,
Yeah,
that is
so like
actually
we have,
helpful.
yeah, that is all helpful because if you want to see weekly analysis or a monthly
Mm.
analysis, you can just select the time frame and then you can, directly get the data based on the given time frame. So let's
Mm.
say if I want to have the weekly analysis, then I can certainly see the data of a week. So
Yeah,
that is how our dashboard is going to work for you.
yeah.
Right.
Means in a whole department, a particular member will use how many add-ins or how much add-ins they have used actually in the previous stage. So that thing we can take the data. I mean, detailed data. Yep,
Yeah,
Right.
that will
definitely.
give you a detailed data about which type of plugins they have used.
Yep.
But one metric that I really like on our internal dashboards is the project-wise data. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? I meant in the context of PiVDC, right? Like we can track uh, what what plugins was used on what project, right? So that we can in the future figure out, okay, a new project is coming in of this type. In the past, for a project of this type, we had used these plugins. Now we could use these plugins as well for this new project type.
Definitely, Naman. Like, if we have the idea like which type of plugins are used in our current projects, we will be prepared for the future to get the projects, and also will be prepared with the requirements like which type of plugins we should use and what will be the requirement of the clients. So that really helped us to be prepared in advance.
Right, makes sense. And then, and internally, it also helps us figure out, do we need to give more training on a particular plugin, right? Or if our expected
Correct.
hit count is lower if our expected hit count is lower than the actual hit count is actually lower than expected hit count, then we know that's reason multiple situations, right? Either the user did not get enough training about that particular plugin and it's time to
Mm.
do some reorientation about training, or maybe there are some features lacking in that plugin and that project had some unique constraints. So that is another data point for us to look into, is to see if that can be a new feature that we can use for that particular plugin. And right, and then anything else you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, correctly said. Like based on the usage, like seeing the usage pattern, we can identify like which plugins are used the most, and which plugins people are like not using it. So we can have a insight from the data from the dashboard, like what we have to work on and how we can improve the plugins. Apart from that, it also gives us the freedom to play around with the data to find more insights and you know like we were never sure that which type of insights was going to help us. So I think that is the dashboard is going to play a very pivotal role if we want to
Mm.
increase the usage of plugins as well as like help us in our projects.
Right.
Yeah,
Ajay?
one thing I would like to just add on top of all these things, like it is a cherry on the cake that I can say. See, there are some most of the time we are dealing with the consistent customer, right? Consistent customer, they are giving us project and one project and one project and one after one and one after. So some of the time it is how means we are seeing this trend that customers are coming like, we had a hospital project with you, Pinnacle, so you saved this much of the time using these tools, right? So again, the same kind of, and we are going to use the same standard and everything in this new projects. So what are the tools that you can utilize in this project, and how much time you can save? So they are coming very uh, willfully and very interested in our tools. So this is not about tracking the members count and training them to means accelerate the utilization. This is also making our customers, the client, to think that yeah, we have tools at Pinnacle and we can save some time. So this is something real benefit that we are delivering to our client and
Mm.
customers.
100%. This is all I had as well from a dashboard perspective. Anyone else would like to add anything? Nope.
No, it's fully covered actually. All the points are fully covered. Yeah.
Perfect. Cool. Thank you so much, everyone, once again for tuning in and listening to PiDoc. This was another installment of the Pi Week webinar, the week where we're celebrating Pi Day on this Saturday, 22nd July. Um, Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Richik, Akash, and Ajay for being part of this webinar and just telling people about your journey with PiVDC, PiDoc, and how
Yeah.
it could help them save time and improve quality.
Definitely,
Thank
definitely. Yeah.
you. Yeah, thank you,
Thank you.
Naman.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and
Thank you, everyone.
please
Thank
do
you.
tune in for the rest of the Pi Week seminars. We're gonna have